Hello, 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 hello. Hello and welcome to Nation Fan TV. I am Belo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs, Amakosi Football Club. And in this video, we will talk about Kaizer Chiefs' home ground for the 23-24 season. We'll also talk about Dolly's replacement and we'll also hear what your guys' comments are about everything that we you want us to talk about. Um so before we dive in and start talking about everything else, please make sure to like the video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That helps me to reach more people like you. Also, if you're not subscribed and you're wondering why you can't comment, that's because only people who are subscribed can comment, because yeah, sometimes I found people who are not subscribed, they end up insulting me. Anyways, Chiefs were playing Chipper United yesterday. Yesterday was what? Thursday, 27th of April, Freedom Day. And the stadium was packed. The stadium was really packed. Remember when the Chiefs played Mbombela against ETS Galaxy? The stadium was packed. Chiefs, when they went and played, wait, now I think I'll make a mistake. I'm mistaking these two stadiums. Royal Bafokeng in the Peter Mukaba. Those two stadiums, they always confuse me. Uh no, it was at Peter Mukaba, yes. Peter Mukaba, and then once again, the stadium was full. Iglama games the Sawadlale Kon. And then FNP stadium always looks empty. I know Uguti there is the side Yoguti EFNP is bigger than the other venues, but if I check in Nelson Mandela Bay, like if we say Nelson Mandela Bay and then we check the capacity as so it's 46,000. So you kind of see Uguti Vele if you put 46,000 Peter Mokaba, Peter Mokaba, for example, Nelson Mandela Bay, it's 46,000. You put 46,000 people Peter Mokaba, it's sold out. But if you take those same 46,000 and you put them at FNB, it's half already. And then if you can take the 15,000 that usually go to FNP, or even 30,000 sometimes, and you put them at FNP, they'll look like abandabangeko, especially because the people sit on the side where there is a camera, and then a camera doesn't show because the camera is on the main stand and it's facing the side where there are no fans. So it ends up making FNP look smaller, like attendance yabantu. It's like people don't even go to those stadiums. But I still do feel like it just brings a better vibe for Chiefs, for abantu who want to watch football elsewhere, because people in Gauteng, they can go watch anyone that they want to do whenever, and it's kind of like they've made many reasons. Also it's the transport, it's the crime, it's this, it's that, and all of those things. So I think there is also a thing yoguti people in Gauteng, they are kind of, they go to stadiums, but sometimes it does feel like they don't care that much as when you take the game to Imapit, because you look at other stadiums and if even the vibe of the fans that go there, it's completely different, and it seems like it's much better than any other places. Which then brings me to this question, Yoguti. Should Chiefs consider actually moving their home stadium? Like, let's say, since in SA, if we go through all the stadiums that are in SA, say, in Pumalanga, there is already a team, right? There is already a team, TS Galaxy, so maybe we don't take our games to Pumalanga. And people in Pumalanga are close enough to Gauteng. But we still keep one game in Peter Mukaba. I heard some people complaining, Baseroel Bafukeng, go Northwest, Uguti, they want games there as well. And then there's also There's also a game in Moses Mabhid. There's a game in Cape Town. There's a game in Bloemfontein. There's a game, I don't know, Wonke Njama province, or maybe make sure there's one game in each province at least, and then the other. So one game per province, so eight games in different stadiums, and then the rest, well, not the rest, 7 games in different stadiums, and then the other 8 are played at FNP so that they can spread it around. The problem, though, and the argument that someone else might make is that if you spread these games around, it does not mean Chiefs will have to pay more money for transport, for the hotels when they go away. But then someone else will come with an argument, Yoguti, but they will sell out more tickets when they go there. So they might actually end up making more money going to more places, because then they will do these SIM card activations with Vodacom, and wherever they go, that means they are basically getting more exposure in different places and growing their fan bases in different places. But then there's also another thing, the technical part of it, Uguti. If you are going to say your home ground this week is Gauteng, lower high altitude. Next week game yakho is in Durban, lower altitude. Does that not then affect the performance yabadlali? Yabo. So there's a lot of these things to be considered. But to me, this season, it has seemed with the Chiefs making that deal with Peter Mokaba to have some games at Peter Mokaba. It seems to me like Chiefs are saying whoever has an offer, whoever has a good offer, then we'll take our games to them. It's not like Uguti, they seem to be considering it. Like maybe they are. I'm just thinking, Uguti, so far the people who have gone to those things, to those places, have actually it seems like they've gone to the person who has basically paid them the most money to go and have the games there. And that's that. But it's up for debate. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because my main concern with spreading games around is Uguti, in terms of the advantage that we have, Uguti. We know the pitch is like this. We're playing this pitch week in, like every 2 weeks. So this is our stadium and we understand it. And going to different stadiums affect you in that manner. So that's my only issue, or main issue, with spreading these things around, and maybe also the cost. Okay, I'll take for more comments, and please like the video, by the way. Umandla is saying Kosi Nation, Note is saying Ola Kosi Nation, Amakosi for life, awe. Mandla is saying those other stadiums get more full because there's barely any football there. I've seen a lot of MP travel to Peter Mokaba, Mpumalanga. Oh, I've seen a lot of Mpumalanga travel to Peter Mokaba. Yeah, there is hunger, and I think indaba isekutheni vele, since vele there is higher demand as a business, I think it would make sense to then go there, because if, let's say, you're taking a game to Toyota Stadium, we saw during the Makufe Cup that stadium was packed. The fact that it's called Toyota Stadium just doesn't sit comfortable with me. It was fine, say, Ilokunji, Bloemfontein Stadium. But that's regardless. If you take a game to Toyota Stadium, it's going to be packed. Having all these games in all these stadiums around SA once, like in a season, then you know Uguti, you're going to make money. That's my thing on the business side. Uguti, I haven't calculated with how much they pay for travel compared to how much they would get from tickets. Umandla saying barely any good games. Chiefs to people there feels like once in a lifetime opportunity. Exactly. That is why I'm saying you should think then they would be wanting to capitalize on the demand that they are seeing. Kainsan is saying, is Pulemod is still coming to Chiefs? I really need that boy, and I wish to see him in the left wing and Dupree the target and Mendieta in the right wing. Ash, please, God, make my wish. We're just waiting for the end of the season. Pulemod. Mandla is saying people will go to FNP when Chiefs start winning and playing good football. You see, that's exactly what I'm saying, Mandla Guti. if you're taking the game to Mabato Stadium, or no, not Mabato Stadium, like if you're taking it to Royal Bafokeng Stadium, right? If you're taking the game, I want to make sure it's in Northwest. Royal Bafokeng, it is in Northwest. Yeah, it is in Northwest. Let me confirm. It's in Rustenburg. Yeah, in Northwest. Right. Right. Yeah. So it's that thing. You're good. If you take the game to Royal Bafokeng, people are gonna go there regardless of how bad Chiefs plays because they just want to watch Chiefs play. They will go. That's what I'm saying. And then normally they're saying if you spread the games around, then Chiefs doesn't have home games and players barely spend time with family. Sooner or later, there will be internal fights. Yabole gap spend time with family. Laban basemsebenzini. I cannot take that. Yabole the first part, it's the one that I share your concern. I would say yes. Then we don't have home games, but Mandla, hear me out. Do you actually think Nelson Mandela Bay and Smith and Alengai? Do you honestly think? Because here's the thing: if we talk about Enfield, I'm talking about Enfield as a Liverpool fan. If you talk about Enfield, why do people fear going to Enfield? Because of the atmosphere. Not necessarily because it's a different stadium or it's bigger than, no, it's the atmosphere. But in South African football, every other stadium that you go to, doesn't matter who Chiefs are playing, there will be more Kaizer Chiefs fans than the other or team. As such, that means Chiefs always have as an advantage in terms of the atmosphere, regardless who they play against, which basically means the home game factor only applies to the environment that they're playing in, which I worry about. But if we're just talking about the home ground feel, it's a home ground feel wherever they go. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to say, hey, move the game from FNP because now I'll be living in Joburg soon. So it would actually be more convenient if Chiefs just makes all the game in FNP because I'll be 20 minutes away from FNP. So it's better for me. But for the business, for the brand, for trying to show off this good to see brand it's in that always has people attending the games, it does look like it's better for them to travel every other week to every other stadium. So yeah. And also Mandla on the other one, because I see what you are saying, family is important to players. I mean, Allende, etc. Bring families here. If they're forcing you away from your family, they will be disgruntled. Work-life balance. Even Pep emphasizes this. No, but ukumbule phela Mandla ukuthi we are not talking about traveling outside of the country. You are traveling on Thursday, and then Friday you have a session, Saturday you are dlala, and then you are back on Sunday. You are with your family the whole time. You only disappear on Thursday, and then Friday you're going in down, Saturday, Sunday you are back with your family. I don't think it's that much of a stretch. So yeah. And then the next one is Ukainsan is saying maybe our subs Billiard, Dolly, Sahil, etc. For next season, I will be not afraid for any team. And our centre backs Bimsimang and Titlok. Yabona uKhanyisane uyela nje le. Uyela le sikhuluma ngenye into uyela nje le. Nick Rose is saying fans need to be patient. Either Chiefs management they are bringing in good players to Naturena. Utabang is saying it's about the revenue. It is. That is why I'm saying it would be interesting to actually see the numbers. Uguti, if you count the traveling, the hotels, and blah blah blah, and compare with the tickets, Uguti, how much money will actually Chiefs end up making? Net profit, that is. And then Ukainsan is saying, I like Peter Mukaba. It does get pegged. Spongobook is saying, if Chiefs can buy FNP Stadium and make our home games, this thing of going to every province stadium is not it. We should only go if it's away games and get the players used to FNP as our home. I get that when Spongobook. I think it is a, what can I say? It's one thing that I was saying, Guti. if it's just about how we're going to play, it's good because then you need to adapt to one stadium that is yours that you know in and out. But I think they're allowed to use it whenever they want. I think it would just be too expensive to buy that stadium. It would just be too expensive because I don't know how much it costs to build it. Like, I don't know. Let's Google. See, no Google. Cost to build or construct FNB stadium. So they said cost 3.3 billion. Chiefs doesn't have that much money. I know good maybe the value is lower now, but I doubt the Chiefs has that much money, even if they paid over a long time. And then Theo is saying, Mina guys, I don't care Uber's Lalelab. All I care about is to play attractive football, and that's all. That is why if you're in front of hundreds, thousands and thousands of fans, you probably will play better. When Smith is saying Olampilo and Coast Nation, well, I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying it helps. And then saying, don't forget Nelson Mandela Bay. I started with it. Ukainsan is saying the problem is FNB people don't like to go to the stadium. He's already saying people want to will only go there when Chiefs starts playing beautiful football. Specifically saying Serota would be perfect replacement for Dolly, or Saelo would be good too, and then Serota to the right. Even Dupree can move to the left, then Duba can be our number 9. That's not going to happen. Yeah, that's just wishful thinking. Uzwan is not throwing another kid to that game. He's already thrown in Umtuno. No, Samgelo, so I don't think he's gonna do it. Arnold is saying, I think also playing home and away makes that a little tricky. Chiefs can only play 15 home games, and spreading that around might be really tricky. Chiefs might end up playing 4 times at Moses Mapita. Yeah, because you think about it, they go there as their home game. But then in the case here, Moses Mapita, then you don't have to take your game there because you have Amazulu, you have Richards Bay, you have Royal AM. Well, Royal AM will take you to Chatsworth. But you already have 2 games that you can play there. And with the attendance, you can push EPSL to take the game to Moses Mapita. Because the idea, I don't think, is necessarily Moses Mapita, but it's to be in Durban, right? Because that's where people will be. But still, Moses Mapita will still look good if he Chiefs. I think the element of if Chiefs started playing well will also help, right? I'm not saying playing well won't help. I think it will definitely help. But I'm just saying, Guti, yeah, I've already said my point. And then Uti was saying, because I don't see any different home and away game, it's the same. Even started that helicopter football from Gezana to Dupree boring game. Yeah. They were still mad about yesterday. Banda is saying home games are always emphasized as important because you get to sleep at home, etc. But Mandla, I mean, I'm not talking about, as I said, I get that side of player welfare is important. But I am saying Bona as a business and wanting to sell out, right? Because we can say all we want. We know at the end of the day they're a business and they want to, because as a business, this is what I'm thinking. I'm not saying I have a qualification in business or whatever, but I'm saying if you have a market, if you have a demand somewhere, but when you continue to sell your things elsewhere, like ukuthi kuhlala ingane students, there is a university where you live, like eKaslako or close by, but when uyaqhubeka udayisa stationery next to an old age home, yet there is a university campus down the line where there is a demand for stationery, why would you not move your business or your base to where there is a demand? That's the analogy I'm trying to make here. There is a demand everywhere else, but they are busy supplying the area that is not really giving them a lot of money. Because they could also just sell it to the high, well, not to the highest bid. It also sounds bad, mangisho kanjalo. because every city will now try to buy Chiefs going there. Because if you think about it, Chiefs going to town, that means people will be visiting that town for that weekend with whatever. So it already works, this thing up business over player, because they are not buying players we need because they are trying to save money. Umanda saying, Panpelo, if you travel across South Africa, it makes more financial sense to go directly to the other city because players would get jet lagged if they fly too much. True, I agree. That is why I'm saying, Mina, I am saying, where is the balance and where could it work, right? Because the truth of the matter is, the FNB ivele ibukeke empty, guys. That's the truth. Ivele nje ibe empty, kube ngathi nje akunamuntu FNB. And kusho mina umuntu who wants to, who is moving closer to FNB for the games the Chiefs as FNB. But it still worries me looking at abantu. They look like it's only 500 people a stadium. So I get all of those things, how it would affect players. But people will only get jet lagged if they fly across time zones. But it's okay. I'm saying, Olampilo, tell me, for people you take a game to Peter Mokaba on football side, you can't cope with the weather condition of that province. Is that not suicide? They just concentrate on marketing too much. That is true. Angithi, that is what I was saying, Menuguti. My main concern is if you're saying, if you say, boom, low altitude Durban this week, boom, high altitude Limpopo next week, boom, then somewhere in between Bloemfontein, boom, next time you are in the cold weather of Cape Town, boom, next time usempumalanga kuyashisa, that will affect players. That is what I was saying, Guti. On my side, that is the only concern that I will have. Like, Uguti, how will the changing and ever and always moving of stadium affect the player welfare? Because we should care about players, because at the end of the day, they are the business. They are the ones who do the job week in, week out. But I am just bringing it out and being the devil's advocate to Guti. But what if, right? And then what? To start building your own stadiums while there are like a lot of stadiums that are not used a lot. So yeah. And then Umanda saying, make FNB your fortress instead of taking shortcuts. Shortcuts are not sustainable. There are flights, delays, and players can spend plus 4 hours in airport, etc. Good point. Good point. I think that is a good point, because if, as you said, people say goalie, they will enjoy just better performances, and that will eventually make people want to go to FNP, and then it. Yeah, Umanda saying Mdu has already increased fans in stadiums. Now imagine with more impressive players and good play. I can't argue with that. Tabang is saying the profit, I think, is not affected by the number of ticket sales, because Chiefs actually has a contract with the city. Figures are discussed, written down in black and white before the game. Yes, actually, they cover all these travel costs and accommodation and stuff like that. So actually, yeah. So you're saying it's not affected by the number of tickets. So there's already a cut. Yoguti will pay for this and then you get this much. Yeah. I want to see these things and understand more, because I obsess. Look at me, not talking about the other things that I said we're gonna talk about in the video. I think we'll talk about it some other time. Ute is saying the last time I was at the stadium, we gave me Ajax and Chiefs. When Mookie passed the ball to Fredericks, then he scored. Baya bora balandeli mina, I like to focus. As I'm gonna replay stadium, that's the only downside. Mind, I saying business over player welfare will never work. The day or Tate went back to New Zealand. Siyanda sengingena manje lana bhuti ngizoyilalela kahle le video sengiqala phansi. Alright, Khosi Tako. Usibuyi saying iChiefs iyadliwa vele mayise FNB noma Ellis Park. Yeah, they should. There are a lot of things to consider. For some reason, my video is buffering. But let's just talk about this thing real quick. Uguti, I wanted to talk about indaba yokuthi who can actually replace or who should replace uDolly going forward, because uDolly is out for the next 5 games. I'm saying 5 games because I'm counting the final. Look at me being arrogant. So I think someone has already suggested, up in my comment, someone has already suggested, I think it was Uspecial, ukuthi 2 alternatives. The first one being ukuthi if Uduba played as a number 9 and then we pushed Utupri to the left and then Uduba can be central. But then that's not going to happen. That would be the first solution. Please like the video, guys. Please like the video. But the other alternative, Ilega Sekhota, who has not done well, and Uzwane, the first thing that he tried to do was bring Onumashane, which I don't think helps as well. So Uzwane is having to deal with this thing for Ikemie Pirates. We are playing Swallows on Monday, and I think we might just have a slight problem because Uzwane might just bring back Caleb and then play Dupri and Usaele Alo Masai Dinak, which I don't think I would like. At this point, I would rather bring back Umdu as a winger, keep Dupri through the middle, and then play Uzwane, Umati, no Step, because Umati we know which is not gonna bench him. So at this point, I would just go for that combination. Yoguti, if Gugut Kanjani play Umat as a 10, play Umdu alongside to Step, because not Umdu Usamgelo alongside to Step with double pivot, then we 10 udlalise Umat or udlalise Step vele as a 6 and 8 Uzwane no Mat, but Uzwane I don't think he wants to play 4-3-3, so 4-2-3-1 it is. Then play Ulokunja Umtu alongside Uzwane alongside him, and then play that 4-2-3-1 formation and play Umtu on the left. I think that would work. If Guguti Gumati doesn't work well, you can always take him out second half and try Abosekhota, try Umatlo, try bakhona abadlali that we can experiment with, especially with Game Swallows, because now they are just trying to fight for their lives with relegation. But we will see what Uzwane will do on Monday, and we'll do a preview Leo game. Noma Bazam Ellis Park has not been used that much. I don't know why. Because who uses Ellis Park? Because in Gauteng kusetshenziswa Orlando and FNP. Ellis Park was used by Isekukune before they moved. Yeah. Spongobuku is saying now Swallows fans are confident of beating us, and SuperSport also put a video out on it. Kaizer Chiefs players should beat these teams 3-0 or more. I can't even speak as a Chiefs fan. Yeah, like we should be actually winning these games, but it doesn't happen. But hopefully by the time Monday comes around, we would be much better. Guys, thank you so much once again for joining me. I will see you on the next one, and until next time, remember to become a member. It's only 20 rands per month by clicking the link, and you get member shoutouts, you get loyalty badges, and priority reply to your comments. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.